got Chef Candy in the building. Chef Candy got the drop on, one of the articles I wanted to bring out. I like to bring things on both sides, so I want to bring out a debunking article, or not really debunking chemtrails, but just with the Washington Post, their approach to chemtrails. But first, I want to give people some background and some information on what the claim is. And, that's what we can do. We can try to weigh the claim and then see how our spirits feel about this, how it all checks in. So, right quick, please, the beautiful Chef Candy, you mind dropping just a little bit off that article, please?
Sure. This is from globalresearch.ca. For more than a decade, first the United States and then Canada's citizens have been subjected to a 24/7, 365-day aerosol assault over our heads made of a toxic brew of poisonous heavy metals, chemicals, and other dangerous ingredients. None of this was reported by any mainstream media. The U.S. Department of Defense, DoD, and many military have been systematically blanketing all our skies with what are known as chemtrails, also known as stratospheric aerosol geoengineering. These differ vastly from the usual plane contrails that evaporate rather quickly in the sky. Chemtrails do not dissipate. Rather, planes fitted with special nozzles release aerosol lines in the sky that do not evaporate. Multiple planes are deployed, flying parallel or often checkerboard patterns overhead, and soon the sky is blanketed with many grayish-white lines, miles and miles long, although this is changing. At first, these lines are thin, but soon they expand and in short time merge together. Our once blue sky has vanished and has been replaced by a grayish-white toxic haze that blots out and greatly diminishes our usual sunshine. Military and commercial planes are involved in more than 60 secret operations. Last year, when I flew across the country, I saw a United Airlines jet flying below us at about 37,000 feet, spraying a black aerosol that went for miles and miles across the sky. This clandestine program now includes aerosol spraying planes in North America, Europe, Australia, and New Zealand, all NATO countries, by the way. Hundreds, if not thousands, of people have called and written their public officials to get answers. Replies from U.S. and Canadian officials are not forthcoming, or if they do reply, queries are dismissed. This remains an ongoing deliberate cover-up. No one is held accountable while we continue to be poisoned daily. This is not the first time, however, that citizens are being used as experimental laboratory test subjects. The U.S. government and its military have a very long and sordid history of using us without informed consent in this illegal manner. As Carrot Pellet notes, the U.S. military has been spraying chemical and biological weapons in open-air testing over civilian populations since the 1940s. They are called vulnerability tests. This is not a controversial statement. The military has admitted to this practice on many occasions, and there's plenty of documentation from the government to corroborate it. There is also documentation of intentional experimental releases of radiation on civilian populations. Unfortunately, this information tends to surface long after it could have saved lives or eased the suffering of victims.
Okay, look, what source are you on right now? What site is that?
This is globalresearch.ca.
All right, check it out, globalresearch.ca, pull it up. Political Mike, I know you always get at me because you're in Vegas and you see all kinds of F-16s and all kind of military-style formations going on, especially around the Jade and Him exercise, which, definitely, of course, will tie into our conversation as well. Do you get a sense that this is a good thing, something, that we can just let them do in terms of, spray the stuff, protect our planet? Do you trust that?
No, I honestly don't trust that. I mean, if anything, from what I've been witnessing, and it's funny that you had brought it up to me before about the chemtrails, when I was out there watching how they were doing the formations. Right after the formations, I'm actually looking to the left of me, and I'm noticing that there are planes going up And the first thought I had was, okay, well, this is definitely, chemtrails, live and in living color right in front of me. And it shocks me that, our government wants to continue to play on our. It really bothers me that our government still sees us as sheep, that they can tell us anything, and yet we're going to go ahead and fall for it. But yet, it's because of like radio stations like yours, and everyone that's out in the know. The government's gonna have to understand that they cannot hide this anymore. I have it from a reliable source. Matter of fact, I just got through talking to him today. He had mentioned that the military, they do the Jade Helm pretty much all the time, but he said this is the first time they implemented martial law. And
okay,
the fact that this being the first time that they implemented martial law, you figure that times the chemtrails. What are they trying to do to us? Are they trying, are they trying to get us to just be okay with the fact that we're going to be, experiencing martial law? They should have to understand that if you're going to implement something like that, you're going to have to use some type of chemical to control us mentally, to get us to the point to where we can shake our heads and be okay with it, because the human equation will not be okay with it.
Right.
The human equation understands that this is not right. So you're going to have to implement, the government knows you're going to have to implement something chemically to cause the human race to bow down to something so stupid. So, and it's weird because, where I'm at, where I'm posted, they no longer have the formations taking place in my location. I had to go a little further north and found out that now they have F-18s in formation in that location, and they have bombers now flying very low.
So you're seeing all this firsthand. I know you were trying to get some shots the other day. It's kind of hard to catch an F-16. You know what I'm saying? Doing a flyby. Yeah, D. Will, man. You know what I'm saying? Same question. Do you have? I'm trying to find a person who just says, "Hey, trust these things. There's no problem." Does anybody feel like this is a good thing? I'll just throw it out to you first, D. Will.
Well, I look at it like this. What has the government done that was beneficial to people? That's the first question I would ask. And the second question I would ask, their take on it is they're doing it to block out the sun. So then from there I would ask, who are they blocking out the sun for? Because melanated people, the sun is perfect for us. That's where we get our energy. We get a lot of that from the sun.
Right.
And then with that, within the chemtrails, they're saying that they're used to create artificial clouds. So a lot of it, just to go with Political Mike, what he was saying, it's to cause people to become sheep and just to be okay with what's going on and not question things.
Right.
And the funny thing is they're so arrogant that they're doing it right in front of your face, or right in front of our face. And and the sad thing is a lot of people are okay with it. So no, I don't trust what they're doing. Are they doing it to benefit us? Absolutely not. If that's the case, there wouldn't be mixed claims of it being good or bad, or they wouldn't have to go behind the curtains to do it, or come up with false stories stating what chemicals they're using.
True that.
So absolutely not. Yeah, it's not for the benefit of the people in that respect.
And right quick, something that I wanted to definitely remember to do even before we got going is just give a quick, moment of love for our fallen kings, that's just been getting, taken out. We hear about some of them, but, I just wanted to start being more mindful to have their energy with us as well, man, to solve some of these equations. Right quick, here we go. Von Derrick Myers, Darian Hunt, Ezell Hunt, Antonio Martin, Mike Brown, John Crawford, Akai Gurley, Eric Gardner, Trayvon Martin, Oscar Grant, Sean Bell, Kajim Powell, Omar Abrego. Just a few, and I'll keep adding on to that. But right quick, just a moment of silence and kings to those brothers. Life is quick. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these brothers, didn't make it. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, man, I wanted to jump in there real quick and just say about the chemtrail, man. It's really just trying to do depopulation. The hidden agenda. The hidden agenda is they feel that there's too many people on this earth. You know what I'm saying? And they just trying to eliminate them. Man, the thing is with the chemtrails, all it does is like with me, man. I felt like it's hard to breathe at night, bro. Like you know what I'm saying? Like it's like a heavy feeling. So, I go to this natural food store called Rainbow Acres, man, and they got some, a lot of the plants and stuff that we don't know really heals the body, you know what I'm saying? So this is all about it goes back to pharmaceutical, man. When they drop it in the air, it makes people sick, makes them run to the doctor, prescribe you prescription, you pay for it, it just keeps the cycle going, you know what I'm saying? And the side effects are worse than what you have, so it's just a shame that it's happening, and what it also does is, like you said, it controls the mind. So I really feel that a lot of those people in Chicago that are these young cats that are going around killing each other is because, for one, they're getting sprayed like ants. You know what I'm saying? They got food deserts. Only food they got is McDonald's and Burger King. No nutrition. You know what I'm saying? And it eats away at the body, bro. So it's like we become zombies. You know what I'm saying? That's why they be making these Zombie X movies and all this, because it really is happening in front of us. So
yeah.
It's really just being mindful, man. And I forgot the one guy that was just saying, just being conscious of it. All of us, it raises the frequency, and your time here, you can live longer, bro, because your body can heal itself. That's what studies show. But a lot of people don't believe that. But I truly feel that the body heals itself, and if you don't know you can do that, then you rely on the drugs, the medication, and stuff like that just kills you slowly.
Right.
So.
And brother, going right into the geoengineering, because when we say that, I'm running into two different, theories about this that might really be the same theory. But one is I'm hearing that they're blocking out the sun. Another one I'm hearing that they're just dropping these heavy metals on us, and they're already getting us in our food and vaccinations. And it appears to me that they wanted to just poison us. They're already doing it with McDonald's anyway. It might just be that they're blocking out the information that we're supposed to be getting at the rate we're supposed to be getting. Brother Prospect, can you speak to the geoengineering, as far as technically speaking?
Yes, no problem. I've done a lot of research on this subject matter, and I've actually lectured on it early last year. But this is a very interesting subject matter because, some people may call things a conspiracy theory so you can actually validate things. I'll share a couple of things with y'all, but before I do, what I'll also share with y'all is a couple of the items that you can purchase that's inexpensive off like Amazon.com or Natural Health Food Store that you can actually take as supplements to wick away any of the silver iodine, any of this aluminum hydroxide that you're taking in, or barium salt that you're taking in from the atmosphere to kind of purge your body of all of these foreign articles that can cause harm to you. One of them is called calcium bentonite clay. This is a great detoxer. You can put it on your skin as well as ingest it. If you're going to look for which kind to get online, there's a company called Living Clay, and they make the best calcium bentonite clay. You can also get what's called zeolite, and zeolite is another supplement that you can get that takes away or wicks away any metals or any foreign bodies that are chemicals and not biotic. pulls it out your body, assists deliver with detoxification, and purges it out your system. And the last thing I would recommend is Nature's Way charcoal activated or activated charcoal. There's several companies that make it. Again, all these items you can get for under $20. And you want to take this maybe once or twice a week to fully detox your body from any of these chemicals that you're inhaling. So I want to throw that out there.
What was the first one again? Sorry about that, bro. What was the first one before you said calcium bentonite?
Yeah, calcium bentonite clay powder is the best one to get. That's by Living Clay, is the name of the company. The second one I said is Zeolite, Z as in zebra, EOLITE. And the third one is activated charcoal. And activated charcoal is actually, they use it in the Brita water filters. And what it does is that pulls out all the chemicals from the tap water, and it purifies the water, So this is something you can also take and ingest. You can in your bath. And any of these things you can put in your bath. It also wicks away any metals from your skin. The stratus cordium, which is the top epidermal layer of your skin, as well as it helps to detoxify the liver and pull these elements out that we take in from the atmosphere. So I just wanted to give that to y'all, as a solution. For your kids, it's safe for kids as well, and adults, and even pets. If you have pets as well, it's safe for them to ingest as well. So I just wanted to give that to y'all before I start.
Right quick,
talking.
Brother Divine, excuse me. I just want to drop right quick something to your point.
Sure.
Off of the same article we're reading off globalresearch.ca. It says right here, over the past decade, independent testing of chemtrails. So these are independent people testing these things. When you say, okay, well, it's a conspiracy theory, this stuff is just contrails, around the country has shown a dangerous, extremely poisonous brew that contains barium, just like you just said, nano aluminum coated fiberglass, radioactive thorium, cadmium, chromium, nickel, desiccated blood. All right, desiccated just means that they took all the moisture out, so it's like a powder of blood, okay? Mold spores, yellow fungal mycotoxins, and the list goes on. Polymer fibers, but barium can be compressed to the toxicity of arsenic. Barium is known to adversely affect the heart. It's heart disease. Aluminum has a history of damaging brain function. Independent researchers and labs continue to show off-the-scale levels of these poisons. A few anonymous officials have acknowledged this ongoing arsenal spraying. So please, Brother Prospect.
Yeah, and I think that's a great article, and if you can post that someplace for everybody to go back and look at it, I think that's really, really good in examining all of those elements, because I only touched on 2 or 3 because there's so many of them, and it depends on which program is being launched and in what area. Now, what I wanted to combat is that when people say things are conspiracy theories, right? So when people get a chance, I want you to go back and research Operation Popeye, right?
What is it?
Operation Popeye was an operation that was launched in Southeast Asia. I think it was in the 60s to early 70s in regards to the Vietnam War. And what the government was doing was it was seeding the clouds to increase the monsoon season so they could slow down the enemy. Interestingly enough, it didn't work because the Vietnamese were robust and they were really diligent in getting the job done. But these are things that had been declassified and has been given out to the public. So when you get home, research Operation Popeye. Wow. Now, you'll see the government admitting to actually doing this chemtrail program, right? So they used it in war unbeknownst to the enemy. That's number one. Number 2, there are a huge list of U.S. patents. All you got to do is go to the USPTO website and type in geoengineering. When you type it in, you're going to see a whole slew of different patents. I have right now a document on my screen that has over 125 different patents on controlling the weather. Okay, we have one that deals with electrically heating smoke-producing device. That's U.S. patent 3234357. We have the Rainmaker, U.S. patent 3429507. On and on. We have method and apparatus for seeding clouds, fluidized particle dispensers. I mean, you name it. Go to the U.S. Patent Office, type in geoengineering, and you will see a host of patents also trace that patent to see whose hands that patent has passed into, and you'll see a majority of them would be in the militaries around the world. So my objective is to make this as real for people as possible, because they like to tell people when they talk about this stuff that they're kind of crazy. So you want to look at these things so that way you have an idea that it's very concrete. And once we have this information, now we can create petitions on each one of these patents and give it to our local congressman and say to them, hey, based on this patent in the hands of so-and-so, the project was done on so-and-so date, what is going on, so we can hold them accountable. And I don't want to take up too much of the time, but another thing that I want to add, and I'll give it back, that kind of correlates with the chemtrails, is U.S. patent number 6470214. U.S. patent 6470214. That is a method and device for implementing the radio frequency hearing effect. Why is this important? Now, the reason why UV light is very important because it helps with the pineal gland and the body's systems that help regulate melatonin and several other hormonal effects. The sun or the UV light is very responsible for our proactiveness, is very responsible for the pituitary gland releasing particular hormones, the pineal gland secreting serotonin and melatonin, etc. When you cloud the sky, right, and you reduce the UV index, now you are making it, or making the body more subject to other low or ELF waves, extremely low frequency waves. So if you look at this patent I just mentioned, 6470214, what happens is once you increase the cloud cover and you decrease the UV index of the sun, what this device does is that it beams a radio frequency signal to the ELF waves or the theta waves in the brain. And what they can do is that they can inject messages into your own mind to make you think that you're thinking something that you're not. See? So that's a patent. You can go back, physical, concrete, you can go back and research this. And the more they are affecting the sun and keeping the sun's light and UV rays from hitting us, the more subject we will be to that particular U.S. patent. So I just wanted to give that out to you as concrete information, as well as something that we can do and take control in our own hands and buy those supplements, share with your family, your friends, your kids, your dogs, your cats, and try to get some more answers to what's going on as well as a solution.
Peace. Look, we're gonna drop this on YouTube right away, so y'all be able to rewind it back. And anybody hearing it on YouTube right now, just pause it, write everything down, because you're not gonna keep hearing the same information over and over. I don't think we got that much time to be that redundant, that repetitive. So you got brothers bringing you, you know what I'm saying, cold cut raw. It's the raw. You want the raw, that King, Ron, Divine, Prospect is in the building.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Shout out to all the kings and the beautiful queen, Brandy Brown, for staying up late. She got a lot going on at night. I didn't want to get into it, but she has put all that aside to kick it with us.
You sound like a lady of the night.
The woman in red. Yeah, all right. Right quick. So I was just dropping on the Washington Post article, and there, of course, I don't know if you got to hear any of that, Divine, but I'm going to just break this one part down from Washington Post. This is their take on things. They're saying that solar geoengineering, more formally known as solar radiation management, is merely an idea right now, and many scholars aren't convinced that it'll be actually worth it. So their stance, well, let me just continue. They say there's no evidence that alleged chemtrails are any different than normal contrails, much less than thousands of scientists, companies, and bureaucrats have engaged in a global conspiracy that they've managed to keep secret the whole time. So, of course, there's no evidence. They're a long way away from geoengineering. Divine, just going right back to your research on this, how off are they?
Off is not even a word. I think it's a closed and shut case. It's very sad, but, you know, the government as well as the media are in concert with one another, so they have to perform damage control, you know, and have great PR to defend the things that they're doing. Like I said, all you got to do is go back to Operation Popeye. And when you go back to Operation Popeye, this is something that they admit to themselves and to the public after it has been declassified that they have actually engaged in. Also, like I said, when you go to the patent office, type in geoengineering, and all those patents will come up. And when supervised, then we ask them questions and say, hey, who's the holders of this patent? Where's it operational at, etc. And then they'd have to answer for that. And what I also say to people is that a lot of this information is documented. There's 2 great books that you can pick up from Amazon or from the bookstore. One of them is called Angels Don't Play This Harp, Advances in Telsa Technology. And another one is called Chemtrails, Harp, and the Full Spectrum Dominance of Planet Earth. Both of these books have a host of different codified documents and testimonies from people who were involved in these actual programs that we're speaking on tonight. And you can go back and research this stuff and take it to the bank. I mean, again, there's one thing if we sat down and discussed this, but when we start bringing up U.S. patents, when we start talking about operations the government has actually admitted to doing, they have to find a way to get around that, and that they will not touch.
Brother Prospect, please, if you can try to knit all this together into some nice fabric for us.
Yes, and I think the most important thing now is autonomy, and that is something that we all will eventually, as time progresses, learn how to incorporate into our homes, into our lifestyles, into the way we eat, the way we think, is how do we become autonomous organisms where we're self-sufficient and independent of actually thriving in an environment where we have a need or a necessity for Big Brother. So once we learn how to take things back into our own hands, bring it back into our own families, bring it back into our own minds, our own consciousness, the way we eat, the way we walk, the way we talk, we have to learn to be autonomous. Just like when the kids are very small and they're trying to walk, they try to be very independent. You know what I'm saying? Even though there's a lot of dangers around, but it's very necessary for them to learn how to walk for their survival. So when we're talking about chemtrails, when we're talking about not getting our children vaccinated, growing our own gardens, when we're talking about taking control of our own music, everything has to be in regard to autonomy, because the objective is to be self-sufficient and independent, so that way we can create an ecosystem for our children and the future generations to grow in, and for ourselves to have a degree or quality of life, so that we can have all the means necessary to survive, to thrive, and keep a smile on our face at the end of the day in light of what's going on around us. So autonomy is the word of the day, and I like to thank 43.2, The Drop, and everybody that was on the line on tonight for giving great feedback, great input, and you can catch more for what's coming soon.
And how about that,
By any means necessary.
man? Any means. Now I get it. Now I get it, Brother X. By any means.